We did have a little rain here in Kansas City. It's my understanding it's done moved on to St. Louis.
Yes,
But
it has.
but anyway, we need the rain. They tell me. They said the grass is getting browner. They said don't water your grass at night because we don't need that. And St. Louis is further on up the road, like Bobby Brookland used to sing. That's about, I don't know if it's 250 miles or 270 miles, but they're close by, and Ferguson is right next to St. Louis.
That it is.
What we want to do, we want one of the popular historic type newspaper in Kansas City, a black newspaper. The Kansas City Call was the Southwest leading weekly, and we had scheduled or wanted to schedule them for today's, and we're just giving them a little time to catch their breath, and so we can start this show because it's a historic type show. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's happening in Ferguson and St. Louis.
MC, here it is raining. We have a little small storm. My name is Fowlkes. I'm the CEO of the Pacific Chamber of Commerce and also the host of Gone to the Pacific Chamber of Commerce. And today we had a very beautiful program that starting out participating in. But right now it's raining in our fair city. There's a lot going on in that out there. It's been busy in most areas getting ready for dealing with issues with crime, dealing with issues carjacking, and we're at the same time one main issue here in St. Louis is they're trying to get ready to do some development in North St. Louis where there's a lot of money been set aside through the pandemic money to make some improvements in North St. Louis because it's been needed the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years because most people know major communities, the downtown areas are getting all the money and but something funny about that. The census tracts by which everyone gets the money for their cities is predicated on the communities that needs money. And that's normally in the area that's the black community, underserved community. And so the money is predicated for that, but when it gets to town, it all goes downtown or even someplace else where the way it was made to go. So again, and this money that was kind of put aside primarily by for the pandemic dollars was kind of put aside there about the Congresswoman Cori Bush during the pandemic, and unfortunately, most of that money has yet to be spent. And also here in St. Louis, you may have heard when the Ram left town, we filed a lawsuit that they had left illegally, and Stan Kroenke settled the lawsuit out of court right before the Super Bowl, and almost $1 billion. And all that money, the lawyers being paid, and other people getting their money, St. Louis came away with at least $500 million. Well, as I discussed on my program this afternoon, that money is still sitting there, and we are in need of so many things. So many things. Matter of fact, our streets need fixing. We have trash problems. We have police problems of being understaffed, and the money is sitting there, and it's not being dispersed where it can go. As I just said, there's definitely a need for the money to be spent, but it's not being spent. And so I don't really understand that. One of the, believe it or not, big news items here in St. Louis is this is really stupid when you think about it. The mayor's father, a gentleman by the name of Reverend Jones, former alderman, from the 128 Ward, and also was a former comptroller. Well, he and his daughter was doing some texting privately, but some kind of way their private text got put into the to the newspapers, and there's some discussion about that, about some of the comments being somewhat racist. But these have been private conversation, now public conversation, and naturally you call this dirty politics, and maybe part of it. But in the meantime, the business at hand of this money being spent in the right place is a major concern that's not taken care of. And so if we have the same problem, the streets are being need fixing, and that's not a good thing. And also, sports-wise, our St. Louis Cardinals have lost 2 games to the Cubs. I'm not sure who won today, but they're playing tonight. And our soccer team, not sure they won that or not. They had a late game, but currently they are in first place in their division, which is something really all-time record for a new team to be in that position. So again, that's just some of the things that are taking place here in St. Louis. And matter of fact, one thing that's been discussed was this past week, like I said, again, always crime. A young lady was killed on the night rail, where a gentleman shot her. He was standing on the platform. He shot her from the train and killed her. Which again, they both knew each other. But these are the type of things that take place here. And I think in Kansas City, there's some things going on a bit that's really, really crazy. And it comes to the newspaper there also.
Well, getting back to the census, we were led to believe, and I think I was kind of in charge of the Kansas City and was getting it to go to St. Louis too, that we kind of beat you guys in the census according to what they said, and that was supposed to be a guaranteed economic development, but that has not happened.
Yeah.
What do we do this? Go ahead.
I will say, MC, that Kansas City has gotten a lot of positive recognition. The new mayor, you guys just hosted the Taylor Swift concert, and now most of the concerts are not coming to St. Louis, now they're coming to Kansas City. And also, you guys hosted the NFL draft recently. So a lot of positive things are going on in Kansas City. And so, but again, most of that money that was promised for the rural, for the underserved communities is not going where it's supposed to go. And that's what
for years it's always been St. Louis was the leader, and people getting their shoes there and what have you, or across the river to East St. Louis, that you guys had the inside track. It was said to believe.
Well, see, right now, as I said, St. Louis is not doing well as it could be, had been intended to be. So as we're right now in the process of, I guess, rebuilding our image, as well as rebuilding our downtown and our community. So right now, most times, you'll find that cities go up and down, and St. Louis has been known to do that. Our population is down. So you currently is the largest city in the state of Missouri.
Well, that's true, but let's see if we can reach our invited guests, because this is a historical type of show we had planned, but we can make it continue now.
Hold on 1 second, sir. Well, MC, that they are not answering again there, so we would is the magic word there, so I don't know what to tell you there. So let me.
Then have you tried Gloria Have you tried Jason again?
Hold on a second here.
Are you still there? To disconnect, press 1. To record your message, press 2.
Okay, MC, there we are there. Let's try the other number right quick here. We have very diligent D. Gonna make sure this takes place.
I thought we'd made sure, especially to Gloria, that we're going to feature them today. I don't know if anybody's in the Kansas City call office, but that number is 816-842-3804. Talking about, I don't know, like this is the second week in a row that our main interviews haven't taken place.
Well, so far, MC, on both those calls, we have got the voicemails, and unfortunately, that is not a very good thing.
Yeah.
So I'd ask you, if you'd be so kind, to tell me, well, first of all, let me say this to you. Today's guest on my program was he's a consultant, business consultant for international affairs, and he was very inspiring guest. We talked about mainly all was the National Bank Human Commerce, Index Business, the World Conference of Mayors, and the National Bank Alliance for having our first convention of all organizations in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is taking place in August 2027. And in doing this, this will be the largest gathering of Black business owners, business people in the country. As a matter of fact, it probably will be the largest in UMC. MC, that's you?
Your call cannot be.
You down?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Scott, let's take a break right quick.
Stand by. And
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do here in Kansas City and Missouri, the show me state, we had scheduled a previous interview, but we got one of the top individuals in Kansas City at the Bruce R. Watkins Cultural Heritage Center. He is a director, and I know United Minority Media Association is going to do a scheduled show coming up in December the 2nd, but we got things going on every day, so if you would, sir, our folks, Director Cleveland should be on the line.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Director Cleveland, I have our folks out of St. Louis. He's a co-host for Guess Who Come to Kansas City, and we're really honored that you are providing us this opportunity to take advantage of some good interview time. So kind of tell us what the Bruce R. Watkins, what's the purpose, what you're doing. You had a successful event today, and we can just go from there.
Okay, so for those that don't know, the Bruce R. Watkins Cultural Heritage Center is a center, a state museum, is operated by Parks and Recreation. We have exhibits, we have programs. In our library, we have a Buffalo Soldiers exhibit. We have an auditorium where we do programs. We had a program this afternoon, a conversation with the elders, where I sat down and interviewed Mr. Jim Nunley, and that series will continue. We have Mrs. Joanne Collins, who's going to be a part of that series next month, and then the following month, Charlotte O'Neill. We're interviewing people in their 70s and 80s and kind of collecting their history, trying to get their stories for future generations, and we want to collect as many as possible. So 50 to 100 years from now, they can log on and watch these interviews and see how things were during this time period. So those are some of the things. We have a few exhibits coming in. We're working on a permanent exhibit dedicated to people who were instrumental in having this building constructed. We work with the African American Artist Collective quite a bit, where they come in and do exhibits and programs. So yeah, we have a few different things going on here.
You know, I was privileged to visit the facility when it first opened up, and I was just blown away about how nice it is, you know. And also, for just information, tell people who was Bruce R. Watkins.
So Bruce R. Watkins, his family was extremely prominent in Kansas City. The stepson of T.B. Watkins, politician years ago. But Bruce Watkins his family owned a funeral home business, still does. He was the first African American, one of two of the first African Americans elected to the city council. He was the first African American elected to a county seat. He was the first African American to run for mayor of Kansas City. He was a Tuskegee Airman, and he was one of the founders of Freedom Incorporated, the oldest political organization, African American political organization in the country.
Wow, I know that Freedom right now is continuing to be a force in Missouri, because, like you said, it's one of the oldest continuously serving organization. And anytime anything that goes through Missouri has to come and get their blessing. And this is a testimony to him and other people who founded that years ago, that was something that needed. In fact, that's needed in almost every community in the country. They have a group like that we can depend on to get things done.
Yeah, and I actually did a short documentary on Bruce Watkins, about 9 minutes, that you can see at the center. I've done a documentary on Freedom Incorporated, and I've also done a documentary on Leon Jordan.
Wow.
So yeah, I learned a lot about that organization. Very powerful organization, and still around today, and still doing great things.
Well, don't let him get away with Mr. Folks, who his father is.
Oh, yeah, he Congressman Emanuel Cleaver. Yes.
Okay, I thought I heard the name Cleaver. Okay, I talked to him on several occasions. Matter of fact, your father is was a it was the first black elected mayor of Kansas City.
Correct.
It was right years ago, and I think that he's done a great job, and he's also Congressman Cleaver now.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, he's kept the work going, and yeah, he's been a part of Freedom Incorporated. There was a story a lot of people, some people don't know. When he first came to town, he was running for the seat that Bruce Watkins was running for. They were running against each other, and Bruce Watkins called him, wanted to meet him to see his opponent, and they met and talked. And after they met, my father dropped out of the race. And ended up joining Freedom. So they ended up becoming friends. Bruce became a mentor, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, one thing, Mr. Cleaver, that we do not have, I know here in St. Louis, is that camaraderie to disagree and agree to work together when we can come to some common grounds, and that's something that's missing in today's society.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that needs to be taught to the youth, and really our community in general. I think we would get we would accomplish a lot more working in unity, just like Freedom did. I mean, we had public accommodations here in Kansas City before the rest of the country because Freedom. The campaign that Freedom put on. So, I mean, yeah, working together is teamwork makes the dream work.
Well, you know, one of the things that in Kansas City, a lot of the things that they were first in don't always get publicized or talked about. Because that was when they did that accommodation deal. That was just unbelievable. That was a huge feat right there that became a model for the rest of the country.
Yeah, that was a big deal, and I talked about it in the documentary that I did, and how they canvassed every neighborhood, and yeah, it was a big campaign in Kansas City at that time.
Let me add this. The place when I watch Gunsmoke, they talk about Waxahachie, Texas, and that's where he was from. Okay, and also he went to Prairie View College.
Yeah, I didn't know they talked about it on Gunsmoke.
Oh yeah. I watched it.
Well, I think we all Gunsmoke fans and Wagon Train fans. But in all those old Western movies, one of the two cities that's always talked about is St. Louis and Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's always, the wagon train either coming or going to Kansas City, or they gonna have some kind of marshal coming from St. Louis to Kansas City. And I think the fact that our history is that we have is so rooted, and what you're doing, Mr. Cleaver, with the living memorial towards the documentation of our history, I think that's commendable on your part also.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I plan to continue to do documentaries. I'm working on a documentary on my father right now.
Wow, that should be real nice.
Yeah. So hopefully sometime next year we can air it. We can show it somewhere.
Well, I tell you what, I would like for you to be our guest and him also as a father-son deal here. When you get ready to come do the broadcast that to the world, because I think one of the things that you're doing there is not enough is told about the young people and the older people working together as a team. Most times you hear about disagreement, back and forth, or friction. But we got the father and son, especially working together in the black community. That's something I'm very proud to publicize on my program, which is named Lunch with the Chamber of Commerce. And we've been doing our show. Now, MC, we've been doing this show for 30 years now. We haven't been on there with this program that we do every Saturday at 1 o'clock for the last 8 years. But I'd love to have you come on as a guest with your father Matter of fact, you can come on in advance and do the trailers, they call it, in advance.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, when we closer we get to finish it, I would definitely love to be a part of that.
Yeah, because right now, one of the things most of them ever before, our history need to be told, because there's an assault right now on Black history for some reason around the country, and you know something, I don't understand that at all. I mean, maybe I'm a little, I don't know. I just don't understand why is American as a whole afraid of telling the Black history.
Yeah, and we talked about that today a little bit during the program. Yeah, I mean, there is a concerted effort to kind of erase the accomplishments of Black people and kind of whitewash our history. And yeah, I believe it's because the majority power is losing that power, and so this is kind of a way to hold us back. But yeah, we're not going to let. I'm not going to let them erase our history, and that's why I do documentaries, and that's why I'm doing this series, Conversation with the Elders, to make sure our history is being told and told correctly.
You know, Mr. Cleaver, if you're not aware, I'm gonna the National Black Chamber of Commerce and the World Conference of Mayors and International Business League and the National Black there's another group there, but we having a conference in Atlanta, Georgia next month, and I think I get your information to you. You should probably be attending that. At least your father should, because that's something we have for the first time in American history. We have all these Black organizations come together in the same place at the same time to get on the same page in social community. And also we have a global effect also, where today my guest on my program was Mr. Fred Anderson, and he's the international consultant. And we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about India, and all those countries he represents. And we love to have you be a part of that. Here comes Miss Gloria. Hold on a second.
Oh, really? You know what, Mr. Clifford? Gloria?
Yeah.
Gloria, we got Mr. Cleaver, Bruce Watkins. He was filling in for you today, and we're glad we got a hold of you, trying to reach Jason and Tracy. But also, I was going to say, I don't know if you remember, but Emmanuel Cleaver, Reverend Cleaver, they hosted the Conference of Black Mayors, and he was head of it here in Kansas City years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And well, right now, Miss Gloria, my name is Alan Fowlkes, Miss Gloria, and I was telling MC that, and Mr. Cleaver, that I'm the head of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, and I was giving Mr. Cleaver I can share with you. In August 27th of next month, the International Business League, the National Chamber of Commerce, the World Conference of Black Mayors will be, and also the National Business Alliance will be meeting all at the same place at the same time in Atlanta, Georgia. And this will be the largest business Black organization meeting of Black folks at the same place at the same time in our history.
Is this the same as? I've heard that the Urban League is meeting in Atlanta next month.
No. Well, first of all, let me digress. My name is Howard Fowlkes. I'm the CEO of the Missouri Black Chamber of Commerce. And so on behalf of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, we are one of the hosts of this event that involves the International Business League, the World Conference of Mayors, and the National Black Business Alliance. And so this is the four organizations that's coming together, and the glue on all this together is the Booker T. Washington, which was started as the Business League in 1900, and we all kind of use that same philosophy and what we do. And so in Atlanta, we will be coming together, for the first time. We have our first conference in Atlanta, Georgia next year. I mean next month.
Have you contacted the current mayor of Kansas City?
You know, I'm not sure, but I will reach out to him myself personally.
Yeah, he's American.
So what, ma'am?
The current mayor of Kansas City is African American.
Well, I know he is, and I will reach out to him, and I'm not sure that he's aware, but I will tell you this, Miss Gloria, next year, the Missouri Chamber of Commerce will be also hosting our first regional conference in Fowlkes, Missouri in April of 2014. I'd like to invite you from Kansas City, and we will have most of the people that's in Atlanta next month will be at our conference also.
Okay.
But let me do this. We are very honored to have two distinguished individuals on the show today. That's Gloria. I couldn't think of your last name, and we tried to reach Jason, but we was able to get a hold of the congressman's son, and he's been really setting this thing on fire. So you might need to hire him, okay? But what we want to do, I want to tell the people that the Southwest leading newspaper, and we here at Yuma, when we first started Yuma, the Kansas City Call, KPRS, City and Hour were the three entities that put it together, and we're still working to. And then I know that Emil, you in good company, man, and also I know that the people from St. Louis, they talk about the Kansas City Call in a positive sense now, okay?
Okay.
But no, anytime I'm coming to Kansas City, Miss Gloria, I get my copy of the newspaper.
Okay.
I always get a copy when I come to Kansas City.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, years ago, we used to have the meetings down at the breakfast on Friday morning with Mr. Gibson. I was a part of that group.
Eggs and Enlightenment.
Eggs and Enlightenment, yes. They came in, and everybody had a copy of everybody who came there had a copy of your newspaper. So in their group, someplace in their possession. And that's how powerful your paper is. So, can you do a small favor? When did your paper first get started?
Okay. What's the purpose of this meeting today?
Repeat yourself.
What is the purpose of the meeting today?
Today is M.P. Richardson is the host of the program.
Oh, okay.
And so,
well, we had targeted the call to be our guest. We're glad that we got Mr. Cleaver to step in and you to come in. That make for once, the men outnumber the women on the show, but we're not mad at you, okay?
Okay.
And we want to make this thing go further because let me start my little deal. When I was in grade school, they told me not to quit my day job because I would go out singing, "Get your Kansas City Call," and I would go down there. We would buy the call paper for 9 cents and sell it for 15 cents. That was the only newspaper that was of any worth here in Kansas City, as it affected not only for black community, but the community as a whole.
Yeah.
And we planned to go ahead. How long had the call been in existence?
Since 1919.
Wow. Well, congratulations, okay, on the longevity of being in the media for all that time, because you were like a forerunner. And I know here in St. Louis, we had the St. Louis American and the St. Louis Argus newspaper that had been around for a while, and also the Evening World, and also the Central newspaper. But I think you predate all of those. Am I right?
Yeah, there's been different publishers throughout the call's history.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, T.A. Franklin was the first one. Lucille Bluford was the second one, and Donna Stewart was the third one. Unfortunately, my sister died a couple of years back, and I'm her older sister, and she left it to me.
Well, congratulations, but I'm sorry for your loss, okay? But for what I've been told, it's in good hands.
Well, I hope so.
No, man. Well, anytime that you can today on I host a program myself every Saturday called Lunch with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, and today we were talking about wealth and generational wealth and going on passed on to family members. And right now, what you have here is wealth from your family and then passed on to another family member. It's always great to hear about that in our Black community.
Yeah.
We don't hear enough of that. Right now, Ms. Gloria, what was this week's paper all about? What was the headlines?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask this question. What day does the call come out?
Today, Friday.
Okay. No, ma'am. Today, I hate to tell you, ma'am, today is Saturday.
Oh, well, yesterday. I am not involved in the day-to-day operations of the call.
Okay.
My son is.
Tell our people, the listeners, the role of Jason in the Kansas City call.
Okay, I will.
You on this interview, we want you to lead our way.
Well, I'd rather Jason do that.
But can you reach him? Can you reach Tracy?
Yeah.
Just
In fact, he sent me a while ago.
Oh, just see if you could. We got some time left. See if you can hook them into the show, okay?
I will. I'll get I just.
What we do, Miss Gloria, hold on one second. We're going to take a small break, okay? Hold on, all right?
While he's taking a small break, get a hold of them and we'll go from there. Here, Gloria. I guess it afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do is a re-interview of the Kansas City Call. That's the Kansas City leading Southwest weekly black newspaper, and it was founded in 1919. And it's a historic newspaper that if anybody want to find out anything, we got some brand new ideas to really bring this to go beyond what it is stands for today, to reach the total community and get more people involved, not only the black community, but the community as a whole and other cities to get involved with us, including St. Louis, including the Midwest Southeast region, to the historical black colleges and universities. And we're very fortunate we had Mr. Director Cleaver on there, and he did a good job for a last minute notice. That's what the sons of politicians do, okay? And then we got Gloria on that. Gloria, I keep forgetting your last name.
No, she's not aware from them.
Okay.
She's gonna call us back.
Okay.
See, people, as you listen to this program, this is the beauty of live radio. This is what happens behind the scenes, but you're listening and watching it on the line, face to face. But as Mr. Richards always has a saying to me all the time, the show must go on. And so that's what you're talking, Mr. Richardson. And by the way, we thank you for also, by the way, this program, Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City, has been on the air over 30 years now. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. It's historical. It's an honor, matter of fact, to be a part of this. So while we're waiting for our guests to call back in, why don't you tell us a little bit about Yuma and also how Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City came about?
Okay, Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City? What happened? All of you, if you didn't, probably heard of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier, Sister Tracy, and the young lady, and what it was.
Catherine Hepburn.
Wait a minute now. Oh, Catherine Hepburn. Yeah, Catherine Hepburn and the other lady. They did a series, and this is a true life story, where the guy who was working for President Lyndon Baines Johnson, his daughter had a thing going with African American, I guess that's what they say nowadays, and he was afraid he gonna lose his position with the Johnson administration. That didn't happen. His daughter and the brother got married. He passed away maybe several years ago, but they made the movie, Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City? Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And so I rephrased that to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and we've been doing that 30 plus years, and it's one of the top shows, and we've reached all over with the help of our friend and brother in St. Louis, and we go all over the country. Tell the people how we are heard. How do we reach people?
Okay, well, right now, MC, the beauty of Mr. Scott Owens, who's our general manager and owner of the station, is such a gifted broadcaster, but he always gonna say we will not take credit for it. But by him, what he's done, we are heard live on Facebook, we're heard live on YouTube and Twitch every Saturday between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m. And we also can be heard, be found, I should say, on Spotify, anywhere you can get your podcast. And so right now, for you to be able to be heard, or hear us, I should say, it's a blessing because there are not many black programs where we'll give us opportunity like today. What we're doing today is going back and forth. As a matter of fact, MC, to turn out, we only have, what, Scott, is 8 minutes left, Scott?
We have 8 minutes left.
8 minutes left. So right now, but we've been doing this, Scott, myself, and MC, and we have fun doing this because we're trying to get the word out about the community, the history of the community, the black community, and how we all working together. And I also just would say this about Scott. He's also, since we have some time left here, Scott, why don't you tell us about what's close to your heart is what you bring together, and that together, and also, I'm so proud to say that I thank you both for all that you do for our country, and you also do a lot with together here in St. Louis. Tell us a little bit about that.
Could you repeat that, please?
Tell us a little bit about what you do with the veterans here in St. Louis.
Well, I'm a member of the DAV. I'm the service officer for my chapter. I'm a member of the American Legion. I'm a member of the Kaufman Fund, which helps veterans and children. I'm also a realtor, a real estate professional that specializes in military relocation. So basically, that's what I do. I participate in a lot of veteran things.
We appreciate that, but we're about out of time. Could we see if we can connect up Gloria?
MC, I can't call her back because her phone was going dead.
Oh.
That's why what we're doing now, we're doing the infield. This is live video, and we try and do an infield here. So right now, MC, for the last 5 minutes here, why don't you tell us a little bit about the thinking that you had and about the trip you had when you went to Tulsa a week or so ago? How did that go?
Okay, it went great. I had over 200 people there, the relatives from Tulsa, Oklahoma, from Arkansas, from Texas, from of course St. Louis area, and it was tremendous. I've been there before. I didn't get a chance to go through the Black Wall Street, but I've been there before. And the people you talking about, I was so proud of our youth. Man, we got some talented youth, boy, and a lot of them in that medical field, but a lot of them, they are education hungry. And the things they are learning and coming back and telling us so we can carry on, we won't say they got it from us, but we kind of we lit a torch for them. But it was out of sight.
And MC, also, you were the second oldest living relative there, am I right?
Yes.
So again, I got to tap my cap on my hat to you for having longevity and congratulate you on your family history. That one thing we can say definitely that the Richardson name will continue going on through history for years to come.
Well, we pay them well, I guess. But on the same token, I head up the United Minority Media Association, my creation, and we're going to do the Midwest Southeast Region Conference here in Kansas City on December 2nd, over at the place that helped us today, Bruce R. Watkins. And also, we got a lot of people that we're going to recognize, and hopefully we can get all of them here because that's a beautiful facility. I was part of that group that when they first named it Bruce R. Watkins, and it's been funded by the state, and it's been every year people come there and they go there and they got a freedom fountain right below the Bruce R. Watkins. Well, a lot of people go there and they don't drop any pennies in there, but they might drop quarters. But we are really blessed, and the way this show turned out, and the beauty of Scott and Ira, that they put this together, and we brought in some of the people. We thought that it was going to be a playback of past shows, but we not only got the director of Bruce R. Watkins on there, but then we got Gloria, the owner of the call, to come in. But unfortunately, we can't continue, but the show must go on, and we want to do some building here and do some overlapping and providing different information, not only in Ferguson, not only in St. Louis, but Kansas City and throughout the Midwest Southeast region, which consists of 27 states, but not limited to.
Well, I want to compliment you on that because that's been your baby for a number of years, and that has created I can't count the jobs that you have created in communication, in radio, television, and newspaper, including something one of your students is now is on Fox News right now, one of their primary hosts. That was one of your students from the past.
You telling people how old I am when you said
Well, MC, I know that well, I know right now I'm proud to say I'm 74. Scott's the baby, and I'm proud to say that you are 82 years old, and I commend you on at your age for all that you do. During the week, people, MC is all over Kansas City. I mean, he's all over Kansas City. Okay, and he does it, and matter of fact, he doesn't drive, but he's smart enough to coordinate with share rides and people who help him get around. And you would never would believe that at that age that he's out and about in Kansas City. Am I right, MC?
That's correct. And I don't even have a bicycle.
Well, nowadays, MC, the way people drive, I don't think you're on a bicycle.
Well, that's true. But on the same token, this showing, the other beauty thing about it are people who have the opportunity to be on this show. Mr. Ira Fowlkes send a copy of that show to whoever the guest might be, and they can publicize it all over the country, or the people they choose to do it. The same thing, we did a show with Oklahoma, and people from St. Louis hurry up and called in, and we shall continue this.
Yes, sir. Well, right now, MC, there's a saying that says the clock waits for no one, the time waits for no one. Right now, we're looking at 5:59, and anything you want to send us off the air with?
Okay, yes. I met a guy, Taha. He's from he's from Baghdad, but he's here in up in the Manhattan, Kansas, and he wants to be on the show. So hopefully we'll get him on there next week, and we will do some follow-up with the Kansas City Call and other news media and outlets throughout this country.
And also the Bruce R. Washington Community Center and MC has this event taking place December the 2nd at the Watkins Community Center. And my name is Ira Fowlkes, a host of Missouri Chamber of Commerce and a co-host with Mr. MC Richardson on Guest Coming Kansas City on behalf of Scott Richardson, MC Richardson. Thank you for joining us. Love you all. Life is good, and talk to you again next week. Same time, same place.